leaders who have given decades to our great republic at great sacrifice to yourselves and to your families. But if the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign.
You should do the honorable thing because he obviously never will. And you should take your expertise and get the hell out of the military, leaving it in the hands of people like Hegseth, who's just been riding a couch low these many years. So Hegseth thought that that ultimatum that he provided to our military's admirals and generals was like him being a big, tough, strong guy. It's my way or the highway, even though he's not qualified to even manage that stretch of highway, let alone America's military. The issue is that I think, like him giving an ultimatum to the media and telling them you have to fall in line or just get the hell out, and they decided, no, we're just gonna get the hell out. They kind of called his bluff to some extent. It seems like more and more of the military is doing that too. And we've already done previous reporting on how many people with their accrued decades or collectively centuries, millennia of experience running the military had already left. We've got more leaving just in the wake of that speech. The head of the US military's Southern Command is now stepping down. This is the Admiral Holsey, who has been in that position for less than a year, not a military expert. I think generally when you sign on to a thing like that, it's with the expectation that you will hold that post for more than a year. And it's kind of a relevant one right now since, you know, we're just blowing up any boat that dares to sail the seven seas. The CIA is now operating inside of Venezuela, which seems like a kind of big deal. And there's every reason to believe that we might well be in a full-scale war with Venezuela at some point. This is the guy that would kind of be in charge of that. Evidently, he doesn't want to be. Now, he's not being really forthcoming about why exactly he's stepping down. We know he did bring a lot of experience to the role. He had been serving for 37 years. He has not been openly, or even we haven't even had like background reporting of him being behind the scenes critical of Pete Hegseth. So it's possible that it doesn't have anything to do with Hegseth or anything to do with Donald Trump, but it is suspicious that after getting this, the biggest position of your career, after working towards it for decades, you don't even last a full year. That seems like a lot. And again, I hope that he comes out probably with a book or whatever. We'll talk about it at that point. We don't have that yet. What we do have though is a Marine colonel who also resigned from the military and is now speaking out about why. This Marine colonel wrote an op-ed titled, "I resigned from the military because of Trump," which is very vague. We can't say for sure why he left. But anyway, this is Colonel Doug Krugman, noted that no commander-in-chief is perfect, but said he nevertheless believed that previous presidents took their oaths to the Constitution seriously. With Trump, he wrote, he no longer believes that. By the way, he had been in the military for 24 years and is a combat veteran. That's all the sort of stuff that would generally, the right would say that that person deserves respect and everything. I have no doubt that he's gonna be torn apart by right-wing media, despite his decades of service in and out of combat. And so he references in the op-ed Trump talking about the need to fight the enemy from within, which is just like anybody who doesn't agree with Donald Trump. And Krugman wrote in his op-ed that although it was not clear to him if Trump was referring to real crime or to political dissent, military force is not the answer. He also took a stance against Trump halting refugee programs via executive order, which affected tens of thousands of Afghan refugees, some of whom the former colonel said, quote, risked their lives to support us. Quote, these are not the kinds of actions that I'm willing to risk my life to defend. And finally, he said he still respects those who serve, but he advised them that if they, quote, have doubts about their orders, they are not alone. They should be confident in questioning possibly immoral or illegal orders, remembering they are responsible for their own actions and knowing others are asking the same questions. And not only should you think about this because, you know, morally, are you doing something wrong in carrying out these immoral or illegal orders? And we know some people are already doing that. They are bombing these boats. Hegseth is not pulling the trigger or pressing the button to bomb these boats, but those buttons have been pressed. But also, you know, like, are you going to be the person potentially taking the stand if there are legal ramifications for some of these actions and just hoping to hide behind, I was just following orders? I don't know. That is certainly something for members of the military to think about. I also think it's something that members of ICE and DHS and Border Patrol should also be thinking about. You feel like you've got like a vibranium shield between you and the consequences for your fully on videotape illegal actions. And for right now, you're right. You can do anything you want and there's not gonna be any legal ramifications. But the statute of limitations is gonna last longer than Donald Trump's cardiovascular system. So you might wanna think about that going forward. Brett, what do you think?
I mean, it's so clear that the Trump administration doesn't know how to military good. And they know, and like you see, what's his name, Hegseth getting up on stage like that, walking around. He's not talking to those guys and those men and women in uniform the way that folks who command respect talk to them. That weird TED Talk meets like real estate expo pyramid scheme, like keynote speech that he gave is not how you motivate people who are devoting their lives to the actual security of men and women and children in America. It's crazy the rhetoric that they spew. That is what a TV show host thinks that military leaders talk like. And I don't want to see a TV show host in charge of the military.
Yeah.
Like I want someone who takes, and ironically, everything he's talking about is it's time to take the military seriously. Let's do what keeps us safe. But the way he's talking about it and the things he's suggesting they do are horrible. Like I think that's one of the central themes that's really emerging. I saw Tucker Carlson and like Alex Jones talking about how women do more war crimes. This whole idea that the Republicans are, or that the Republicans are good at this, and that these men are the new like leaders of manhood in America is ridiculous because they're trying, they purport to give you guidance on how to be a better man, a better leader, lead a better society. But every bit of suggestion they give you is just like this utterly surface level bravado that you scratch a little of the paint off and you realize AOC has it right with the term insecure masculinity. I wouldn't even call it masculinity. It's just a bunch of insecure dudes who are playing these roles on TV, and the folks who actually have to do the real jobs every day are the ones who unfortunately are in a position where the only thing to do is resign or coup, but they're not gonna coup because they respect the institution so much and they know what America means, so they're resigning.
Yeah.
So it's worse than it could possibly have been if these guys didn't intervene, because now the only folks that are sticking around are those who like are biting the inside of their mouth and bearing it, and folks that are actually supporting these ridiculous goals of the administration.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of them are making the decision that, like some of the most experienced people in the CDC have had to make. They're like, well, I'm not gonna lend my expertise and my credibility to this, so I have to go. But we are harmed by that in terms of our government, in terms of our society.